Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Monday live stream. So it's a good day. It's a great day, and I'm going to show you why. There's a lot of things that are going on in politics, which is kind of strange, but I know we don't need the government to actually do anything for us. Crypto, digital assets, Bitcoin are going to be just fine without them, but I can tell you with assurance that the right people in the right positions can really move the industry and the market in the direction that we want it to go. So this is what's happening today. First of all, we're over $100,000 for Bitcoin. And I know I say that nonchalantly because we've been here before. So it's nothing new. It's a great day. And everybody's excited. Everybody's happy. I'm ecstatic. Look, and it's at $102,000 for Bitcoin and going up the last 24 hours. You have 4%. Bitcoin with its massive market cap of, $2 trillion moved 4% in 24 hours. Almost 9% in 7 days. That's pretty amazing. And then on down the road, we see, Ethereum's up 9% for the week. Tether. XRP is at 243. Great job. BNB, Solana. I mean, everything's up across. Is anything down? I guess that would be the bigger question. What's down? Hyperliquid in 24 hours. BitGet. But they pump so much. They're due for that. That's just normal. So that's what the market is doing. And of course, this is one of the first times I've seen in a while that the top gainers are not all meme coins. Max is a meme coin at 62% for the day. QBX and Sovereign. Sovereign, I think, is something that's a gaming project, intricate way to hold your digital assets and NFTs. And QBX, I forgot what it was. Maybe a layer 2, I forget. But it's amazing because, it's all been meme coins. So meme coins are still there, but maybe some actual utility is breaking through. So that's what's going on in the market in a grand scheme of things. Now let's come down to the politics. Now, this isn't a political show, obviously not. But like I've said before, we don't need the government to push us or to get us to where we want to go. They work for us. However, over the last 4 years with the Biden administration here in the United States, I can tell you with 100% assurance, they sure can make it tough. So when I saw this, I was like, this is interesting. I didn't think it was going to happen, but here we are. Bitcoin Archive says Canadian Prime Minister Trudeau expected to resign this week. And that was just yesterday. Or no, excuse me. That was, this is January 6th. This was today at 9:50 a.m. The Conservative Party, led by pro-Bitcoin Pierre Poilievre, I think I said that right, are expected to win the next election. I'm like, well, who is Pierre? And what is his stance? Because I know he's pro-Bitcoin, but how pro-Bitcoin is he? Is he pro-Bitcoin like, it's not too bad? Or is it pro-Bitcoin like, let's use this? So I think he's one of these really big pro-Bitcoin guys. Take a listen to this. This was... First of all, it's amazing how things shift, right? I want to take you on a trip down memory lane. Listen to this video. It's about 30 seconds. And at the end, Pierre is going to talk about Bitcoin and the time that he talks about it. But do you remember this happening in 2022 and 2023? Just take a listen. This is good stuff.
Of Bitcoin and other
criminal cryptocurrency scams are on the rise in Canada, with millions lost.
The value of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies has fallen off a cliff.
Canadians lost almost $380 million to various types of fraud in 2021. And the number one scam was investing in cryptocurrency.
An Ontario man just lost his entire savings.
Bitcoin has plunged about 70% in value from its all-time high.
So that is my plan, to enable Canada to become the blockchain and crypto capital of the world. What this is, yes, you can applaud that if you like.
So that was 2022. And of course, they ran that quite a bit in the Canadian political circles because they made fun of him. Because he was talking about Bitcoin when he was supposed to, which is when we had a massive crash. And 2022 was not a great year for Bitcoin. It went from 67,000 roughly down to 16,700. And he was talking about back then. And of course, once that happens, everybody piles on. And we can see that with this, with Justin Trudeau, as he's come in, this is what happened. Trudeau, known for his anti-Bitcoin stance alongside his other poor economic policies, said in early 2023, remember, Pierre said this in 2022, he picked it up in 2023. And I'm sure he said it before that his political opponent and leader of the Conservative Party of Canada, Pierre, who said it? Poilievre, was not fit for leadership because he correctly told Canadian citizens to opt out of inflation by holding Bitcoin. And just to get the context here, I want you to listen to this because this is what was going on in 2022 and for the most part 2023 as well. And then 2024, everybody kind of changes their tune as things start to break out massively. And then, of course, people really change their tune when Bitcoin hits 100K. What do you think they're going to do when it gets to 200, 300K? Anyhow, just listen to this. This would be Justin Trudeau dropping bombs.
So beyond having a plan to make people mad and amplify and reflect back that anger, we haven't really seen a lot of concrete proposals from Mr. Poilievre. I mean, he did make one. That's not fair. You're right. He had one great opportunity for people to opt out of inflation. He recommended this last spring. You can opt out of inflation if you invest your money in Bitcoin. Yeah. No. He stayed up late, watched all sorts of YouTube videos, and came to that conclusion. He said that himself. Buy Bitcoin, opt out of inflation. Well, any Canadian who actually listened to, maybe that's why those guys with the flags are so mad at me. Any Canadian who listened to him would have lost more than half their life savings since last March.
Oh, boo-hoo. So that's a funny thing. It's a funny thing about investments is that you lose when you sell. And Justin Trudeau is absolutely correct, 100% correct. I mean, if you would have bought beforehand and then watched it go all the way down and sold, you would have lost. That would have been a problem. However, my question was twofold. First of all, what would the Canadian citizen, how much would they have accumulated and actually had an ROI or the return on investment if they had done it when Pierre was talking about in 2022? That's the first thing. And the second thing, the question, I guess, that nags me is, how big of a Bitcoin proponent is he? Well, in 2023, he visited a Canadian accepting Bitcoin as payment and paid for Bitcoin or paid for food in Bitcoin. So he goes around, he knows how to use it, and he's talked about it in 2022. And now I think that there's been other roundtable discussions that he's been on where he talks about how he wants to push Canada into using Bitcoin, crypto, and digital assets. And I like all those things. This is fantastic. So my first question I think is answered, which I think this guy's very pro Bitcoin. That's great. So we got what? President Donald Trump coming in the 20th of this month, and he's pretty pro Bitcoin. And his sons, which surround him, they're even more pro Bitcoin. And the people that surround him in his cabinet, J.D. Vance owns $500,000 worth of Bitcoin. Vivek Ramaswamy has said nothing but good things about it, and so on and so forth. So I'm like, great, we've got Canada, who could be the 51st state of the United States. Just kidding, that's a hearsay. And we've got the economic superpower that is the United States working together to push the asset that we all own on this live stream. So my next question then is, okay, going back to the people in Canada, if they would have listened to Pierre and not to Justin, how would they have done? Well, first you have to ask yourself, let's take Justin's comments in stride. And he said, if the Canadian population had taken their financial assets and their savings, they would have lost everything. Okay, well, how much do people make in Canada? I'm not Canadian. If you're under 35, statistically, you have around 27,000 in non-pension financial assets and 9,905 in RRSPs. RRSPs are retirement savings accounts in Canada. 35 to 44, you got 23,000 with 15 in the retirement accounts, and 45 to 50, you got around 40 and 40, essentially. 40 in non-pension assets and 41,000 in these retirement accounts. So the question I had then is, well, can I take anything out of those retirement accounts? Because that's what Justin said. He said, hey, your entire life savings is gone. So is he talking about that? Can you take it out? Well, apparently you can. You can withdraw money from your RRSP at any time if it's not locked in, but you'll have to pay tax on the income. However, there are some exceptions if you have a home buyer's plan, lifelong learning plan, whatever. Correct me in the comment section if you're from Canada and this is incorrect. let's just take an average. You got 27 and 9. So what do you got? 37, 40K right there, right? You got 23 and 15, roughly about 50. You got 40 and 40, roughly about 80. Let's just take 50,000, right? Let's just say 50. You got $50,000 that you foolishly put into Bitcoin in 2022. What would you have done? It's a great question. So let's say, this is, of course, Ben's website, DCA simulation. This part's free if you guys want to sign up for this. So I always like to use this stuff to see how much I would have made if I would have been smarter. Well, you can only put so much in, right? You should see my bank account, very anemic. So let's take, well, we can't do March. Let's just take the middle. Let's just take May, I guess. May of 2022. Yeah. And let's say you put in, well, no, because it was like around, let's say June. Let's just say August 1st, because it was later. Let's say you put in that 50,000, 500, 5,000, 50,000. Ah, those poor Canadians. What do you think of that, eh? You would have invested 50 grand. And right now, as of today, January 6th, 2025, you would have a value of $217,716. Well, that sucks. So, yeah, this is, of course, considering, I'm being a little facetious. This is also considering that these people never sold. They didn't listen to the FUD. They didn't hear Justin Trudeau or the shifts of the world or all the financial experts who said that Bitcoin is going to zero, or did not listen to Dan Pena when he said that he knew who Satoshi Nakamoto was and it's going to absolutely nothing. This is in consideration of all those things, and they just held, and they were diamond hands. Good for them. But it is amazing, though, that you'll hear that in 2022, 2023, and now it's like, as we get into this bull market, now everybody, even like Jim Cramer's like, oh, I've always liked Bitcoin. Sure you have. So that's what we have for that one. I'm just glad that people are seeing the light now, because it makes my job much easier when I go away. And I can just say, look, this is where the money's made. Bear markets, just stick around. You're going to be okay. And it's very basic stuff. So anyhow, let me know what you think about that in the comment section. And then also, again, I know that governments, we don't need them to push things going through. But, you know, this is good that Justin Trudeau has resigned. I don't know. Do you want me to play him saying that he did it, that he's going to resign, just so we're all on the same page and we know that? Here, let's take a listen. Hold on. I don't want everybody to say, no, he didn't resign. That was just a stupid article. Let me see here. All right. I'm not going to have you listen to the whole thing. It's pretty boring. Here you go.
Over dinner, I told my kids about the decision that I'm sharing with you today. I intend to resign as party leader, as prime minister, after the party selects its next leader through a robust, nationwide, competitive process.
Awesome. So great. So he's stepping down. Everybody's happy. So again, I think this is good news for Bitcoin. I'm not for sure if this is good for Canada. Again, I'm not a Canadian. I know this is just good for Bitcoin. That's all I can really go through. If you are Canadian from Canada, lived in Canada, let me know in the comment section if that is way off and you were much, much better under Justin Trudeau, or if you think that you'll be better under Pierre, as he will probably be the next prime minister. So that takes care of that. And then also more good news on the, I guess it'd be the banking front and also politics. This is from Caitlin Long, founder, CEO over at Custodia Bank. She says, the Fed's D-banker-in-chief is out, Michael Barr, the last remaining President Joe Biden, and Elizabeth Warren appointee who architected Operation Choke Point 2.0 at the Federal Financial Agency. He'll resign as vice chair for supervision in February. And I was looking at this diagram here, and I'm like, hey, all these people are gone. Like the very top guy in the executive branch, Bharat Ramarwati, senior counselor to the president, former NEC. Well, he's out because Biden's out, and that whole administration is gone. We've got Treasury Neil Lang, Undersecretary for Domestic. I believe she's gone. FDIC Martin Gruenberg, chairman of the board. I'm not for sure if he is. Elizabeth Warren, I know, is staying, which, hey, can't win them all. Sherrod Brown, who is a senator from Ohio, he is out. He lost his bid. And then there's Michael Barr. And Michael Gibson, I believe, is also gone. In New York State, the DFS superintendent, not for sure. But that's a lot of people gone. And that means that the people that were the architects of essentially suppressing crypto and digital assets as it pertains to the banking industry are all out. And Elizabeth Warren is essentially an army of one against crypto. So good luck to her. But as a reminder, I know everybody hates Gary or dislikes him greatly, but we really should be thankful for Gary, if you think about it. Because Gary was in at the SEC, he gave us, I want to say, 3 solid years of suppressing the price of digital assets. And yes, it's true, he was the deciding vote for the Bitcoin ETF. But as a reminder, he did nothing but bash it after that. I think that maybe Larry Fink called him up and said, listen, this is what you're going to do. Regardless, let's be nice to Gary as he comes out. He gave us ample opportunity to hit our stride to come into the bull market, which we are right now. So thank you, Gary, for suppressing everything. I appreciate you. You were the worst, but I'm also happy to see you go. Also, yes, Sherrod Brown, one of the architects there. This is his commencement speech, or resignation, or lost his speech, I should say, when he lost on November 6th. And also, I'm glad that he is out, but who knows if that's good for Ohio. So that's what we have for politics. Again, we don't need them, but I got to tell you, once you have the right people in the right office, you really can lubricate the system to get things to go where you want to go. Anyhow, let me know what you think about that, all in the comment section. And also a quick Bobby update. Bobby's becoming quite popular on this channel. Bobby, my buddy in Australia, he is crushing it. And he's crushing it with the most ridiculous meme coins of all time. What I like about Bobby is that Bobby understands that this is gambling. He knows that. And if there's one thing that Bobby is actually doing really good, besides investing into the most ridiculous meme coins that I've ever seen in my life, he's doing the half and half method. And if you don't know what that is, there's a link in the description of every video that I do. And there are the 5 crypto critical videos I put out. One is where I want to sell 80% of my crypto. The other one is where I talk about AI and scams. And then one I talk about is the half and half method, where essentially when everything doubles, you sell half and keep half. You take that half, wait till it doubles or triples, you sell half. And there is no, unless they're established, there is no variance. You have a plan, you keep it in play, and even though you're a degenerate like Bobby is, you still take those half profits. And he's been doing pretty good. I think he started all like with $1,000. And now here he is at 13.3. And in very short, I want to say 60 days or so. So congratulations, Bobby. You're a true degen. Good job for actually doing the half and half method and listening instead of just writing those profits to zero and round tripping bags. So that's what's going on. But again, you can check out that video, the half and half method. And that'll lead me to my last point, which is meme coins, fun stuff, good times. We all know that they're gambling, right? They are gambling. And because of that, TomatoCoin. So we've been talking about this for a while. This is going to be airdropped. It's a free airdrop to all my Cardano stakeholders, which is happening right now. But also there is a IDO. An IDO stands for an initial DEX offering, which is on MinSwap. And this is a pre-release price. So right now, we've actually raised almost 30%. And it just went live an hour and 39 minutes ago. And we're just, again, is this gambling? This is gambling, but it's fun. And as long as you understand that, we're okay. So with TomatoCoin, this is where you go to. There's a link in the description for what is TomatoCoin, who's eligible for the airdrop, again, D new stakeholders, how do they get it, and then how to come over here. And if you want to play the game, you're welcome to it. And all you got to do is just like everything else. If you have a browser wallet, like I have Nami, and it's connected right here. And with Nami, I just say, hey, I want to spend 100 ADA. and I want to buy some TomatoCoin. I've read the risks. I'll deposit that. My little NAMI thingy will come up. I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to sign it, put in my password, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's it. So now I have a whopping 100 ADA, and that's all you do. And then, so what does happen is we've already hit 30%. Once we hit 100%, shuts down. And then 2 hours after everything is over, the tomato coins will go into the wallet that you have for MinSwap. Now, if you're talking to me about the airdrop for TomatoCoin, which you also will receive World Mobile Token, you'll also receive cornucopias, and you will also receive Crow token. You just come to Drip Drops, again, link in the description. You stick in your address and you click check my drops, and it'll tell you how much tokens that you're eligible for. And again, as a reminder, the more you stake, the more you get, obviously. And this is going to be spread out over 1 year. So there's 73 epics. Every 5 days, you'll be eligible. You can do it every 5 days. You can do it in 20 or 40 or 50 or whatever else. So we'll go from there. And that's what's going on. So I'm excited about that. We'll see how it works out. Again, gambling. Everybody's having a good time. This coin does absolutely nothing. Unless we get that partnership with Olive Garden. That'd be sweet. But that's it for today. So look, if you like today's video, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. If you're here, I appreciate you. Now let's get to the little Q&A. And I'll answer all your questions the best of my abilities. And here we go. Danny's here. Aussies have the 1 year rule for shares in crypto. I wish we had it in Spain. Yeah. Who else has that? I think Germany too. Not for sure. Kranskinator says they would tax you if they could farting on us. Pretty much. We get taxed on everything. You get taxed for everything that you work for. Your paycheck gets taxed. Your house gets taxed. The food that you buy after you received your taxed paycheck, you get taxed on that. Your car, they tax you on that. And you also have to pay for that for your post-tax that you got paid for from your job. Then, of course, when you have assets, every year you have to pay for your tax on your real estate. And then when you die, they tax you on your death to send that to your loved ones and kids. Unless you do some different things, kind of with trust. But yeah, taxes suck, and there's nothing around it. Is there a hemorrhoid coin yet? I'm guaranteed there's one. And I'm just waiting for like a Justin Trudeau token on Pump Fund to really blow up. Bobby doesn't pay taxes. Tell him to explain to the other Aussies. Bobby probably doesn't. Bobby probably evades the law. Bobby's a funny guy. Let's see. Also, Trudeau is staying until they can replace him. Nothing really happened today. Maybe do this so people might stop throwing rocks for a bit. Yeah. But the good news is he's out. And that's all really... I mean, from what I read in on my X account, everybody was super happy. A couple people were not. But they were quite joyous that Trudeau's out. So we'll see. Yeah, Leon says, you need to learn the origin story and era of AI16Z, one of the least ridiculous meme coins. Yeah, I think it was the founder of Andreessen Horowitz. Didn't he put money into that? And then he essentially wants to run with AI and make it as great as possible. I think that's one of the narratives. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's what it was. Ask yourself, what would Bobby do? Bobby would buy the most ridiculous stuff and then brag about it. But he's not stupid. He does take those profits. And I got to tell you, that's a hard thing to do, especially when you're a degenerate gambler. Master Blaster, remember, I owe you 10,000. Yeah, it froze. I owe you 10,000 tomato coins from yesterday, or 20,000, I think. So I got to figure out. Do me a favor, Blaster. Do you have a X handle or a Twitter handle? Put that in the comments. Don't give me your address. Don't give me anything else. If you got an X account, that'd be great. Bobby doesn't seem like a braggart. He can be. I dig Miniswap. Yeah, that Miniswap per is pretty cool. I gotta tell you. Oh, I'm also gonna have the guys from Miniswap on, and we're gonna talk about what makes a safe IDO, what constitutes, and how we can protect ourselves against rug pulls and awful projects that come on the platform, and how to spot out just plain trash. So I'm looking forward to that one. I think they're coming on the 16th of January, so that'll be a good one. Shout out to Bitcoin Layer 2 Mint Layer. Oh, wow. Crypto Mike says, I joined D News 2, a little scary, sending 4 figures across the blockchain. I couldn't imagine sending 5, 6, maybe even 7. You know, this is good. What Mike's talking is he's talking about moving crypto around, and it kind of gets him unsettled. I can, trust me, I got you, because you're like, okay, this is going to it's not going to a bank like I'm used to. Nobody's here to check me, and no one's here to protect me if I screw this up. But it's great that we do it so we get used to these things. And I think it's going to be really important. Like, when you start to move 6 figures around and 7 figures around, it's crazy. You're like, I can't believe I'm doing this. So what I always do, the basics of basics is this, is first of all, I do a test transaction. And I don't care who you are. I have to do a test transaction to make it goes through, because I'm not sending you 6, 7 figures just on a whim. I mean, I know we have a deal, but whatever. Do a test transaction. Okay, you got it. Great. I'm going to break this up into 3 or 4 1. I don't care about the transaction fees. If I'm stuck with crappy Ethereum and their ridiculous fees, I'll break it up. And then you do that and you see how easy it is. Then you get a little bit more comfortable, But the basics is, as always, safety first, which is send a test transaction. Well, first of all, before you even do that, make sure that whoever you're sending it to, that you trust that person, you know that person, and it's not some kind of AI scam nonsense. If you're looking for like guidance on that one, there's a link in the description. One of my 5 crypto critical videos, and 2 of them have to do with scams. It's a funny thing. Those ones don't get near the amount of views as the when I'm going to sell video. Should, but it's not. I need to do a better job of talking about that, I guess. Anyhow, basics are always the same. Test transactions, break it up, and that's it. Ooh. NZ says Germany's 1-year tax rule still applies for private crypto gains, but with MiCA, custodial wallets face stricter proof of ownership rules, making compliance tougher. That's true. And there's one thing I'd like to say about the taxes thing. And this is the thing that kind of throws people for a loop, because they're waiting for those, I don't want to have to pay any taxes, long-term capital gains, or like in Australia or in Germany. And it sucks because, when you're in meme coins and that crazy stuff that Bobby's into, is that when you sell, or if you don't sell, like those things are going to zero. I mean, we all know that. So at some point you're like, okay, I got to take some profits. It's better to owe the government 33, 40% even, as opposed to me round tripping my bags and getting this much, because I can't do anything with 0. I can do pretty good with 60%, even if I got to pay a bunch of taxes, which really sucks, but it's better than nothing. And I'll take that. I'll take that all day long. Yeah, Tommy Twista says, your CoinGecko idea is great to validate addresses. Yeah, always go through CoinGecko to do essentially everything you want to validate. They did all the hard work for us. I should actually have some of those guys on. They're really good. So let's see here. I don't know what this is. Oh, let's take virtuals. So if you're on, say, Uniswap, looking for virtuals, and you put it in, you might get 3 or 4 different types. So what you want to do is you want to see like what layers is it on? And you can see for contracts, it's got 2. One is on Ethereum and one is on Base. If you copy this, and instead of typing in virtuals for what you're looking for as far as Uniswap, here, I'll show you. Let's do here. Let's go to markets. Here's Uniswap V2 Base. Right. So let's say you go to select token and see how I just pasted in the virtuals protocol. I didn't look for virtuals. I just pasted in the contract address. Now I'm 100% sure. And even this comes up. It says virtuals isn't traded on a leading US central exchange. That's true because they're a bunch of laggards and they are always behind. Now I got the right virtuals. Always do that. It'll save you a lot of time, heartache. Hey, crypto. So yeah, great time to be alive. Worst time humanity-wise. Sorry to say the world affairs and so-called leaders. Yeah, it does kind of suck. Yeah, coin market has addresses too, but they're hard to find in my mold. Yeah, it's also true. Danny, great people, food, transport, beaches. Are we talking about Spain? Or are we talking about? I know we're not talking about Germany again. Puerto Rico. That's a good one. Augustino, do you expect to blow up in the market close to January 20th? Or is it already priced in? We did a video on this, and here, let me show you. Because everybody's calling for a pullback on Inauguration Day. That's essentially what we're talking about. Let's go back in time. Let's take a little bit of a spit. So the last inauguration was roughly January 20th, 2020. So let's go here. So we can see the last inauguration day for Presidente Joe Biden. You went from January 2nd to 6,900 and it went great to 89. That's a pretty great gain, 8,900. And then it started to drop off to 83. But look at this. I mean, people say, well, there's always a blow up after the inauguration on January 20th, which I got you. But I mean, look where you came from. Just, 2 weeks prior. So they might go down, but look what happens. And then people will say, but Rob, 2020, that's when everything collapsed. Yeah, because of a pandemic. I don't know if you remember this thing. It was called the coronavirus. It was huge. Everybody was talking about it. Very scary. And that's what dropped that in March, but not really. So that was the last one. And then, of course, 2016, that would be Obama. No, excuse me, that would be President Trump. I stand correct. Obama left, and after Obama beat Hillary Clinton in the primaries. Let's see. So this one here, everybody was kind of like, okay, Trump is in office and he's really the president. Is this really happening? I think people were more uncertain about who he was and what he was going to do. I don't even think Donald Trump really knew. And he's even said that he's made some mistakes, especially picking cabinet members. That's for sure. So I can see why that the market just collapsed around here because people were scared. They're like, I don't know what this guy. He seems like a clown. And it went from 450 down to 375. But again, well, this was December. It went from 360. Yeah, same thing. So, I mean, we'll probably see a little pullback, but you got to remember the context of what was happening back then. People were like, yeah, this guy should not be the president. And now we've got President Donald Trump where he won not only the Electoral College, but the popular vote. So people want him as president. And I got to tell you, I mean, as long as he learns from all the mistakes that he did as far as choosing cabinet members who were the swamp, so much the better. I didn't, when I look at Trump, I don't see Trump. I see the team around him. And I like that team. Really like that team. I like RFK. And hopefully, also another Bitcoiner who's hopefully can fix a lot of the problems that we have with just food and medicine in general. But we'll see. Vivek. Sure. JD Vance. Yeah. Doge, Department of Government Efficiency. We'll see how long that relationship lasts with Elon Musk. I don't know. But yeah. And GW, yeah, it's a great team, right? It's a great team. Yeah. Rob says, Rob, you got the wrong years. COVID inauguration is 2 different years. Go back. Okay, so it was March 2020. Yeah, because I know it wasn't 2021. He won't actually be or until March. Yeah. Look at those prices though, $300. Have you looked at Liquid Finance, one of the first DApps on ADA, and one TVO and Cardano? Yeah, Liquid Finance. Let's see how well they do. Luca, the conference is talking about us being off a year. All right, so it's off a year. I think Trump, here, let's just go back because everybody's, let's see. So this was the coronavirus, right? March 12th, roughly 2020, when everything started to get shut down. Am I wrong here? That was what I was talking about. Was I not? Yeah. And then that's true. The inauguration. 2021, I should have said. I was way off. Okay. January 21. January 8th. Biden, 39, 32. Woo! Let's see. 2016 to 2017, I should say. January 2nd. Dropped again. But I got to tell you, it did pretty good. 1,130, just 800. That was a weird time. And then 2024, gosh, look at that. 67,000 on November, all the way up to here. Not too bad. Not too bad. Let's see. I was interviewed with Josh over at Minutes Network scheduled. It was scheduled right before this conversation. And didn't work out. I guess Josh got busy. Danny's got a good question. What do you guys think of the New Year's Eve party of Sailor and the crypto guys? I find it pretentious, but hey, just me. I would love to talk to Ben Cowan about that because he was there. We'll see. We'll see. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Andrew says, Rob, can you give us your take on investing in Bitcoin versus real estate? The pros versus the cons. Yeah. I think I told you the story before, but one of our condos flooded. And thankfully, the people that were, well, thankfully or unthankfully, the people that were renting on Airbnb were out. And we got a call that said, hey, there's water coming out of your door on the second floor. And it's going to the first floor. So we go there and water's everywhere. It's about half an inch deep across all 3 bedrooms. And apparently the toilet was stuck, flapper, and then there was an occlusion. So it just made everything run over. So it took us 2.5 hours and, scraping everything out, cleaning, mopping, all that good stuff. And I was just thinking to myself, man, I'm pretty sure that that Bitcoin wouldn't leak if I had put the money that I put in this condo into Bitcoin. And sure, it'd be nice not to, I'm pretty sure I don't get water damage on Bitcoin and that type of thing. So it's a funny thing. Real estate's great during the bear market because during the bear market, people still got to live somewhere. And it's always going to generate revenue as long as you're in a reasonably right place and you can upkeep maintenance and all that great stuff. So it's nice. But in the bull market, you always look back and go, maybe I should have just put everything into Bitcoin. But I like to diversify a little bit. Let's see. Never rent a Clogzilla. Exactly. All right, Danny, see ya. Ravi says, Rob, what resources do you recommend for identifying price targets to get laddering out? It's a tough one. Well, I mean, one of the ones is risk levels. Again, there's a link in the description, which it talks about dynamic DCAing. And this is what I'm talking about. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's go to... So the risk levels, we'll just take Bitcoin for generalizations. So like this works pretty well with, and actually I should show you another tool here, which is called exit strategies. Let's go over this real quick. So here's the risk levels for Bitcoin. And again, these will move as time progresses, right? So we got right now, there's a prediction at the riskiest level, 1.0, you're looking at 224,000 Bitcoin. So maybe like you're looking at these risk levels and going, maybe at 0.85 at 170,000, I might want to take profits. Or maybe I want to start taking profits at 0.7, 120. Maybe you want to just take some profits out, right? Take some off the table, go enjoy life, pay off some bills, you know. I mean, you can't live in a Bitcoin. That's just how it goes. So, and this would be applicable to Bitcoin or any altcoins, right? There's a plethora of different altcoins that are on here. So then you just kind of choose. And the tool that you might want to use here is go to Tools, Exit Strategies. Let's say you got one Bitcoin, use the current price. And risk bands, let's say that you want to sell at we'll say the tops. Again, the top meaning like if you're between 0.4 to 0.5, you're selling at like 0.49 or 0.5. You're not selling at 0.45 or 0.4. So when it gets those price levels, then you want to start to get out. And here's the examples. So let's say you're a conservative person. Actually, this wouldn't make any sense because you're already at 0.6. That doesn't make any sense. You got one Bitcoin and you're an aggressive, your risk tolerance is aggressive. And you say, okay, at 0.7, the top of the risk band of 0.7, you're going to sell $12,500 worth, or that's 10% of one Bitcoin. Then it gets to zero, the top is 0.8. And you say, you know what? I'm going to sell the other 0.2%. And that's at 154,000. I'm going to sell 30%, 187,000. And then I'm going to sell, if this happens, 0.4 at 224,000. Or you can take the beginning or the middle. Let's just say the middle. Same thing, the hodler. You don't sell until it gets to the 0.75 band. And you sell 0.17. You sell it. And then you'll notice over here the total is, because the whole point is to not go and like say, okay, I'm only going to sell when Bitcoin goes to 250,000 and that's it. Because I can tell you from experience, especially for altcoins, it doesn't work like that. Usually where we think things are going, they don't go. So that's just Bitcoin. Let's try ETH. This might be more manageable. Let's say you got 100 ETH. And you look at this going, okay, when should I get out? Let's go aggressive. At 0.65, when Ethereum's at 4,142, you're going to sell $41,000, 41,400, which is 10% of the 100 ETH. Then when it goes 0.75, and you're totally earning 27,000. So I hope that made sense. That's a good tool to use if you're like, I don't really know. But again, that's just one tool that you should use. I can't give you financial advice. It's just a tool. And it's up to you to implement or not implement. Let's see. Taking notes. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Yeah, that's it. I know people will always, some people look at me and go, you know, real estate doesn't make much sense. Right now it doesn't, but trust me, when we go into the recession or we go into the bear market, which we will, it's going to hurt. And it's going to be nice to fall back on something else that generates revenue. So it's always good to have these multiple streams of revenue. You know, you have long-term rentals, you have short-term rentals, you have loans, we have like a sports facility, you have equities, which I really don't do too much because I don't know it. And then, you know, crypto and digital assets. And of course, stuff like this. So it's kind of how it works for me, but not everybody. Some people just like Bobby, like, you know what? I'm putting it all in Fartcoin. And I'll half and half it up and be a billionaire. Yeah, unbelievable. When camera buys, I'm out of here. Rather think we got that one, the Bitcoin basket. All right. Some bad news, maybe some good news. They're going to have to print more money and lower the interest rates. That's true. They're going to have to lower the interest rates. I just don't know how many rate cuts they're going to do. I thought we are going to see 3 or 4, but it looked like in the notes that the Federal Reserve just wants to do like 2 cuts next year, and that's it. Meme says, hey, I can finally get in the YubiKey store. That's good. Any promo codes? No. I got to reach out to those guys. It looks like a really good product. It does. Even Bobby diversified. Can we see that again? Yeah. Bobby diversified into, let's take a look here. AI16Z. He rolled the profits, or some profits into Solana. He also, I believe, took some into USDC and transferred out. He has B-hole coin, Nosana, Fartcoin. He also has big swinging Ds, but I think he sold a big chunk of that, and then it dropped like a rock. So, yeah, that's it. Are these all Solana coins? Yes, Echo. They are all. Yes, ma'am. They are all Solana coins. Yeah, YubiKey. Is Yoroi a Cardano wallet? It is a Cardano wallet. Yes. Yoroi, ADA Lite, Nami, and there's one more that's people talk about. That's I say it's pretty good. Rob, your thoughts on Bitcoin DeFi, staking protocols, lending? Lending, I'm not a big fan of. Some people are getting into it. I've learned my lesson. I just can't do it. No, I mean, there's one that I've did a deep dive on called Core, which essentially brings DeFi, farming, and a whole host of things into the Bitcoin protocol. And yeah, look that up. It's called Core, just called Core, C-O-R-E. I think it's number 63. But yeah, I did a deep dive on that. It's on Dan Degen. Web3 Me, Rob, what are your AI agent plays? So Rect Burgundy, Virtuals, because that's kind of like the layer 1. And there was one that I picked up. And it is AIXBT, which is up 18% today. It's pretty good. So yeah, and if you want to like, and then there's a couple of different products that I'm talking to that are making their own AI agents. So that'll be over on Dan Degen. It's just way too risky for you guys. But if you're looking at like different agents, just go to Virtuals, app.virtuals.io. Shift this by market cap. Oh, hey, all right. XBT's up there. And just kind of go from here. Just see how things are going. Trust me, bros. Neuro Bro Music. I've heard of this one. I don't know any of the rest of them, though. Pond Hub. But yeah, just take a look at that and then start to do some, again. Oh, really? Sovereign. Okay. Okay. So Sovereign is on Virtuals, and Sovereign, if you noticed, is one of the top gainers. I think it just got released today. I stand corrected. It's been out for like a month. Man, I went from 2 cents. That's a nice 10x. All right. Didn't know about this one. Can't do them all. It's like Richard Branson said, business opportunities are like buses. If you miss the first one, don't worry. There's one coming right up behind it. Dogs thrive. I'm late. No. Yeah, Canada staking. They knocked out of the park. They really did. But I have my questions on these fees. And we'll see how it all works out. Let's see. Which times that project review? Yeah. Which base ecosystem coins do you think Binance will list first? I don't know. Which base ecosystem? Brett? We'll see. Aerodrome? Maybe. Is Virtuals over there already? Because Virtuals is built on that. Yeah, Degen. And I'm going to leave it like with this. This is a good comment, Shrihari. We all know when everyone wants the market to pump, it will dump 30% when you don't expect it. How don't we have a pullback yet? It's a good question. How don't we have a massive pullback yet? Today's a pretty good day. So, everybody's bullish. So maybe you should, these are the great days because you don't have to do anything. You don't have to like worry about buying dips or, getting in and outs. And if you really want to, it's just like a nice green day. And we know that the better things are coming. So yeah, just expect a pullback like we always see it in massive bull markets. Me personally, I appreciate those because that's when people always say the same thing, which is, I guess the bull run's over, and people are serious and they pack up and leave. Fantastic. Well, we'll see how that works out for them. Anyhow, that's it for today, everybody. So thanks so much for stopping by. Again, if you'd like to come back down here on MinSwap for the initial DEX offering. Again, this is the pre-sale of the token, and it's at 2 cents. When it gets listed on exchanges, it will not be, it's not going to be listed on exchange, on any centralized exchange. There's not a chance of that ever happening. It'll be on a DEX. It'll probably be on MinSwap. It'll probably be on a couple different ones that are Cardano based, but we're coming up at 35% raised. So yeah, not bad. And that's it for this one. So everybody, links in the description for that. Thanks so much. Appreciate you guys. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks so much. Adios.